Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another exciting devlog. We are now doing devlog 5. What are we going to talk about? Let's see here. Well, as I've mentioned in some of my videos, I use AI to an extent in my games. But on top of that, I also like to have AI make mock versions of my game. And so I've done it with Gemini, I've done it with ChatGPT, and I did it with Claude. And out of the three, so far, with minimal prompting, Claude is my favorite. So at the end of the video, I will share the mock demo of my game with you that was built using Claude and Pygame. Exciting stuff. Graphics getting involved. Awesome. All right, what are we going to talk about? Let's talk about monsters. Yeah, monsters are great. I have built into my game a system. You see, when you fight monsters in my game, it's a system and it's a kind of weighted system, and so there's a random chance you're going to fight certain versions of enemies. And that's fun, and that's cool, and that's great. But the problem for me was sometimes you'd end up, because I got right now tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, tier 4, and yeah, tier 4 monsters. And tier 1 are obviously significantly weaker. And so I was playing multiple times, and every now and then I had a slight chance of fighting a tier 3 monster on round 3 of my combat. And the problem was, if you just fought a whole bunch of bad enemies, and then you fight this super, let's just say, weak slime, green slime, for example, it's just kind of demotivating. It's like, oh, well, that was lame. So I decided monsters should be able to level up also. And what happens is the game's set up to 5 rounds, 4 regular rounds, 1 round that's a boss. And every tier represents, like, tier 1 monsters have the highest chance to come in on tier 1, on round 1, and then tier 2 has a slight chance on tier 2 and on round 2, and so on and so forth. But what happens is if you happen to fight a tier 1 monster on round 3, that monster gets stat increases. So for every tier, for every round that's higher than its tier, it gets a boost. And it gets names like Hardened, Veteran, and Elite. So for example, if you fight a green slime in round 1, it would become, it'd just be a normal one. But if you find it in round 3, it would become a veteran slime. And its stats go up, and it gives more experience. Actually, it pays better than fighting multiple versions of the same monster. Because what I did is I went and I said, okay, so slime, green slime level 1 pays 5 experience, right? Okay, cool. Well, now when we fight rank 2 slime, its experience goes up by 50%. So now it's 7.5 experience. But that's kind of silly, so I round it to 8 experience. So round 1, 5 experience. Round 2, 8 experience. Tier 3, 12 experience. Still not very much, but again, my first level only takes an experience. But that's kind of how that works. It works all monsters round to tier 2, and then my tier 3s. The tier 4 is just a boss, so he doesn't really level up yet. He probably will eventually. But yeah, so that's kind of how the level system works. It's got names, and as it levels up, it gets more stats, which is pretty cool. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about some new monsters I brought into the game. Let's see here. The most recent monster I added was Hydra Hatchling. Find this code real quickly here. Here we go. Hydra Hatchling. This is my tier 3 monster. The most one I designed. It just kind of gives you its stats. It's got HP at 25, Min-Tax at 3, Max Attack at 6. Does not pay any gold. Gold's going to be a whole other system that I haven't quite built yet. But it's in my mind. We're working on it. Drops essences. Essences are essentially, it's how you complete the game. You need so many essences to win. Though, I'm kind of going away from that, honestly. I'm thinking I'm more likely to start using essences as currency, so you can sell them for gold and make gold less common. But the original plan was you need to kill so many monsters, get so many essences to win. Now you got to beat the final boss. Yeah, it has loot now. That's my biggest update. Acid Sack is what it drops. And its special move is Hydra Hatchling Acid Spit. Hydra Hatchling Acid Spit it's a dot attack. And also lowers your defense. And so usually you want at least 3 defense by the time you fight this thing. Because if you don't have it, and the moves trigger, and it's a 33% chance. But still, anytime it hits you with a special move, your defense drops by 1. If you had no defense less, you take an extra 2 damage plus a dot damage. So it's not crazy powerful, but it does slowly eat away your health. And without defense, yeah, you're gonna feel it a little bit. So that's Hydra Hatchling. And the big system we're working on is equipment. Equipment is my biggest update. I haven't talked a whole lot about it. This is kind of the function that equips items. Just kind of lists what they do. See how you can unequip them. And talks about how you can access stuff in the bag and that sort of thing. But the actual magic for the code is actually, yes, this is our equipment class. Tells you its name, itself, its slot, its rarity. Yes, there are different varieties, which is pretty cool, I think. So you got a decent chance of, well, there's poor right now, there's normal, and there's uncommon. And each version has a bigger buff. So usually the poor version is usually like a +1 to a stat or something like that. Tier 2 usually still gives you your +1 or plus whatever it is. Usually it's based on tier right now. So if you fight a tier 2 monster, you get a tier 2 drop. It's probably going to start with a +2 stat to whatever I think it should have a stat boost to. But, so that's the poor version. The normal version usually adds in some kind of side effect. You know, so maybe you get more HP, or maybe you do poison or something like that, and then you can poison for more and more turns or whatever. And then finally, when you make it to the uncommon version, which is high as it goes right now, it's already +2 or +3, I guess, based on the tier. So I guess for a tier 3, it'd be +4 to whatever stat, plus the same bonus but stronger. So let me see here. What do we got in here? This is how I need to actually write this in the code, because when you play the game, you know, it gives you a color but doesn't explain what it does. It tells you the boots and everything like that, but white is for poor, blue is for normal, and green is for uncommon. And then each of those gives you a chance at getting different stuff. Round 1 is kind of special because I think it's really cool to get something special on your first round in combat. So in round 1, you have a much higher chance of getting a normal version or even an uncommon version. Only round 1. And that's what this is. It's 30-80, so you got a 30% chance for poor, 80% chance to get a normal, and if it's not one of those two, you get an uncommon. Though why is it 110%? Well, that's fine. It's just odds. It doesn't really mean that much. So far, we got a couple pieces of equipment in the game. We got our poison sack. As I said, this is the equipment I've added so far. Poison sack, the poor version, is one. It gives you a +1 to attack. It's such that you can equip and inflicts poison for 1 turn. Not too great. The normal version, same thing, +1 poison damage to your basic attack, and then 2, it lasts for 2 rounds of poison. So now you can actually switch, keep the enemy poisoned, and switch to your special moves like Power Strike. And the uncommon version, it's a +2, it lasts for 3 rounds. And you got to choose. Like, you can have a basic weapon, you have your basic attack, which is just your fist essentially. You have an accessory which you can use, or you have a weapon. So that's why the extra turns I think is good, because you can poison the enemy, then switch to your regular weapon to keep that dot damage going on. Dot damage doesn't stack per se, it's just constant. So like if you hit an enemy twice with a poison attack, it doesn't get 2 stacks of poison damage. The turn counter restarts, and so now they got to go 1 round before the poison clears, or 2 rounds or 3 rounds. But since usually those are special moves that the enemies attack with, and they have very limited AP, I didn't think it was fair for the player to be able to just spam poison. And so it's kind of protected. It's still pretty good, but you can't infinitely stack poison on top of your opponents, as fun as that would be. And we got a fire sack, same idea, but it comes from the fire slime. Acid sack, same idea, comes from the Hydra. And it takes you out what everything does. Wool pelt's another one that I've been working on. It's for my wool pup. Rusted sword drops from a skeleton. Trident drops from an imp. Dagger drops from a goblin. You get a paralyzing arrow from a goblin archer, and so on and so forth. I still need to add some stuff, but essentially you have 1 slot for equipment, or wait, 1 slot for weapons, 1 slot for armor, and 1 slot for accessory. And you have to choose to use your weapon or your accessory, although I do want to add some more stuff so that you can combine them later on. But that's kind of the basic idea. It's cool, it's exciting, equipment's in the game. What other thing do I want to show off? Yes. This is a big section of the game that I've relatively it's just built. I built it a while ago and I haven't actually expanded on it that much. So let's talk about that. That's my debugging menu if you're paying attention to the code. We're looking for around 1354. 1,354. There we go. The Arena Quarters Interlude. This is a special round that every round you get a break, right? So you recover a little bit of AP, you recover some HP, you can use your levels if you gain a level. But the big round is between round 4 and round 5 before the final boss. And this is where there's some NPCs that you can talk to. And talk to the Goblin Pokey. Right now you can talk to them, they just don't do anything. But the plan is, the Pokey gives you gold, tries to screw you over. Ogre Guard kind of just guards you. What do you guys think of Ogre Guards? How do you think they would act? Hooded Figures, mysterious. Yes, crafting and merchants and trainers. And Bo's he's the main person you come in contact with when you're playing the game. You'll have an interaction with him. Plus you can check your status, rest until you're called. But there's a lot of potential here. It's all work in progress. Right now they just say 2 things, which is kind of funny. I programmed it in the code so you can talk to them 2 separate times, and they just changed a little bit. But I do want to add crafting, and that's where combining weapons and accessories will be a thing. Bookie's going to pay you money, so you fight a tournament. It's going to be based on how well you do, what tier enemies you're fighting, all that sort of stuff. You get gold based on your payout, and you get all that gold between round 4 and round 5 before you fight the final boss, and then in which case you can take and you can invest. Maybe you want to take your rust sword and your poison sack, and now you got a poison rusted sword, which now does poison damage, and you have a free accessory slot. So it's kind of that sort of idea. It's going to be basic crafting. It's not going to be crazy like a lot of games do, but it's going to be basic, and yeah, it's super exciting. That's kind of a lot of features that I'm looking forward to implement. Finally, the last thing we are going to do, as promised, is show off this Claude build that I had built. Build a mock version of my game. Now, I'm using Pygame here, and I've stuck with Game Boy graphics because why not? But here we go. Let's play it. Okay, here we go. I thought that's pretty cool. It looks like a traditional Game Boy, but it's kind of hard to see, I'm sure, for you guys. But if you look in, it's very simple. It's an arena demo. It's got 3 rounds. It had loot and gold and all that fun stuff. But you got a couple basic abilities. You can attack, power strike, berserk, or use a potion. So let's start with an attack. Attack. Press enter to start first. A is for attack. You can see right here you get the Hydra Hatchlings, the first one we're fighting. It's a tier 2 monster. That's its HP. You got a warrior, 3 AP. Starts with 4 attack, 2 defense, and 2 healing potions. Alright. Let's attack. Attack! And it breaks it down. Hydra Hatchlings plus acid. Ooh. 2 damage plus acid stack 2 turns. So now we got damage and we've got poison damage sticking, which is always fun. We can go berserk. That's always fun. Pushing D. Berserk increases our attack. It's not telling you what it does. It's supposed to. But it is a very, very quick mock version. But essentially, berserk increases your attack. So let's attack again. Ooh, we beat it. It pays some gold, some experience. So there is no leveling in this particular mock version. And it drops items 1 to 2. And you actually can equip both. So let's equip our Acid Fang. And let's equip our Hatchling Scale. Now we got something for weapon. And something for accessory. That's armor. Armor. Something for armor. Alright, we press enter to continue. Breaks down the things. It says, do you wish to go to the shop? And you can say yes. Push S to go to the shop. Alright, this is our shop. It's super basic. Sells some cool stuff that you can sell your items for gold. Let's go ahead and tab to next. Next enemy appears. It tells us our attack, our defense, how much gold we got, and our 2 potions. Round 2 of 3. Let's go ahead and attack. Alright. Berserk is still stacking, so we hit for 13 damage. Ouch, that's nasty. Goblin Archer hits for 0 because we have 3 defense. Because in this particular version, defense blocks everything. So if you take 3 attacks and you have 3 defense, you'll take 0 damage. Alright, well that was pretty easy. Let's attack again. Alright, we beat it. Super easy. Here, as you can see, we got a Crude Short Board, which is not as good as the other item we have. And we get Goblin Boots. Also not very good, so we actually can sell them. And it doesn't instantly register, but if you look at the gold, it does. Again, this is just a mock version. Gold 38. Let's sell the Goblin Boots. Gold 57. Even though it doesn't clear the screen, they're sold. Press enter to continue. Round 1 clear. It should be round 1, round 2, round 3. It does round 0, 1 round, and round 3 for whatever stupid reason. But again, quick mock version, took Claude 5 minutes to bring it up. So that's exciting. All right, now we actually go to the shop. What can we do? We can get Chain Vest, which is better than what we have. We got 47 gold. Ooh, the Ruby Amulet. Let's go ahead and buy that. All right. Spends most for gold. Now we have even more attacks. The final enemy is our Dire Wolf Pup. We got our 3 AP. We got acid damage stacked on us right now. I got attack of 9, defense of 5, gold 2 potions. All right. Let's go. Power Strike. Apparently we got blinded for 2 turns. Plus we're taking damage from the poison. Alright, let's go Berserk again. Berserk plus 3 damage for 2 turns. Let's finish it off with an attack. 1. We got a Wolf Fang and a Tattered Pelt. Both of which we can sell. Don't mind my dogs. Alright. Press enter to continue. And we won. Pretty simple, pretty exciting. Anyways, that's a quick little demo that Claude made up for me. I have a whole bunch of those things. I usually go through 1 or so at a time. But it is pretty cool. I love the Game Boy-esque vibe. Anyways, thank you for taking time to watch my videos. Hit that subscribe button. Feel free to join my Discord and follow me on this journey with my game. Alright, until next time. Bye, guys. I also have a GitHub. I'll link it in the video. But you can also find it on my YouTube. Check out the game. Download it. It is on GitHub. Let me know what you think of it. This most recent version doesn't have a version that's about a month behind. But hey, if you download it, let me know. Let me know what you think. Give me ideas. I love feedback. And yeah, I think we'll actually end the video now. All right. Bye, guys.